So we're back. We're here. We're live. So we were just kind of chatting before I came on. I didn't want to ask you too many questions because I actually don't know you. So I want to ask on the pod. So Emma, you're Aesthetics by Emma.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And tell me your story. Like, how did you get to be Aesthetics by Emma?
So I basically started my business about 5 years ago, and it wasn't really my idea to start it. It was kind of my mum, because she wanted Botox, basically. That's really the whole reason, to be honest, that I started it. And my partner and stuff as well were encouraging me to do it. So it was never really something that initially I wanted, which is kind of strange, but like when I started doing it, I absolutely loved it. So that's 5 years now I've been doing it, and it's in Kilmarnock, the business is. And I do all the kind of usual stuff like your Botox, dermal fillers, skin boosters. But I also do kind of medical based treatments now, since there's been like a lot of cuts to NHS services.
Oh, right, okay.
So we do like cryotherapy and like screening for moles and hyperhidrosis treatments and things like that. So it's kind of expanding, it's ever changing. So
ever changing.
Always learning, yeah.
How did you get into aesthetics, or what did you do before that?
So my background is I'm a nurse.
Right, okay.
So I was a trauma nurse, actually, just when you were talking about the ambulance service. So I was 7 years as a nurse doing trauma orthopaedics, and then I went and did my prescribing course as well for my aesthetics, and then got into aesthetics, and I just loved it when I started doing it. I think having your own business and doing something for someone in that way is so nice, rather than sometimes in the NHS it's quite how do you say, like you don't get a lot of credit for the stuff that you do. When it's when you've done something nice for someone, they're really happy with how they look and stuff. It's a really nice feeling to see how they react to that.
Yeah, that's special.
Yeah, it's nice.
Do you think, like, I feel like there's so many nurses moving, not even just moving into aesthetics, but like quitting being a nurse to just do aesthetics now?
Yeah.
Like, why do you think that is?
I think it is just because it is a thankless job, maybe is the way to say it. I think a lot of nurses feel like they have like still got their passion for the job, but it's all the kind of politics and stuff around it. And I think having something that's your own, like your business, is so nice. Like, and a lot of people start doing it part-time and then hopefully cut down their hours and then go into it full-time.
Yeah.
But there's also, I think, a misconception that everyone that does aesthetics makes a fortune. Like, it's hard. And I always say, because I do training for a training school as well, I always say to the new girls that are starting, like, you see these ads and it's like, this is like a £1 billion business, and you're like, you're not going to see that for ever, or years and years and years, because you need to really build up the trust with your clients. And I think that's what I kind of didn't understand fully when I first started, that people wouldn't just turn up. Like, you kind of have to prove yourself and get like words on the street and stuff that you're good and that they can trust you with their face, basically.
Because it is a bit of like a case. So now, like when you used to go for a job interview, and be like, oh no, you've not got the experience, so you can't get it. And you're like, but how am I going to get the experience if I don't get it?
Yeah.
So it's a bit similar, whereas like if somebody's face, like somebody just really trusts that you're going to do a good job because it's your face. Like, it's
I know.
crazy.
And if you've like, most of the courses are only a day or 2 days, so obviously if you've got a nursing background, it's a lot of help. But you do need a lot of mentoring initially, because you are new to it still, and it is a big responsibility. Like, I remember the first time I did a set of lips, I was sick in the toilet after.
Really?
Because I was so nervous.
Because you were nervous?
Yeah. And I just didn't want, you just don't want to do something wrong. Like, as a nurse, like, that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to do any harm or anything. So, I mean, it was fine, but it's just that kind of nerves of, like, I'm out on my own now. Like, but you build it up as you go along.
Because you think, like, so obviously nurses, you inject people all the time, or like people that are just randoms training to do aesthetics, like, I must feel like wild, like just whipping out a needle and starting injecting folks' lips.
I know. There's obviously the whole debate about medics and non-medics, and obviously they're saying that regulations coming. They've been saying that for a long time. I don't like to get too much into that argument, because it's people's livelihoods at the end of the day, do you know? And there's good nurses, bad nurses, you know, like,
absolutely.
But yeah, I think the whole industry needs regulated. It's like wild out there. Like, some of the things that you see, it's not okay what's going on.
It's not.
No.
Then I was actually, it's funny because I seen this TikTok and I thought, oh, that's handy. I'll watch that and see what the woman said in specific. She was a nurse, and then now, similar to you, fully into aesthetics game. But she's technically, and I wonder if you would be too, not classed as a medic anymore. Or maybe she meant if the regulation comes in, she wouldn't be classed because technically you're not
Because
anymore.
she's not a doctor, maybe.
Right.
It's quite confusing. So the term non-medic, it's not really, because I wouldn't class myself in a like medical sense as a medic, but
Yeah.
in aesthetics I am classed as a medic.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't identify as that in like a hospital.
Yeah.
I'm a nurse kind
Yeah.
of thing, not a medic. So that's even like the kind of language around it's quite confusing as well for people, because they would maybe even assume that I was a doctor by saying I'm a medic, but I'm not. I'm a nurse. Um, so the whole industry is a bit all over the place at the moment. I think the faster we get regulations in, the better, and hopefully it will just make sure that it's safe practice, because that's really the main thing. Because you're seeing things going that just aren't safe, and it just can't continue
No, it
the way
can.
that it is.
Like, what kind of things have you seen that have been like wild?
Just like, I mean, we all saw like a couple of years ago there was a massive move towards like overdone faces and things like that, and like you've seen things with people injecting without like gloves on and stuff, and just not really understanding the products they're injecting. Like a lot of these products are actually classed as implants, and they're getting like put into your body, and the people don't know how to look after you after if something goes wrong. And there's just so many things that can go wrong and that you're seeing go wrong out there. It's just wild.
I was talking to somebody actually not that long ago, and she says aesthetics as well, again as a nurse,
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about like, oh God, what was it called? Something to do with the lips and if they go white and stuff like that.
Yeah,
She
like
was,
a VO. It's called vascular occlusion.
she was talking about it, and she was explaining it all to like the client that was in, the model that was in, getting her lips done for the content. And then she was like, yeah, so blah, blah, and I was like, I've worked with a lot of aesthetics and I'm pure. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Like, that's
and the thing is, a lot of people will shy away from that. So, like, shy away from that conversation. Like, this is a complication that could happen. It's a rare complication, right? But it still happens, and there's ways that we can manage it if it does happen. But a lot of people don't want to have that conversation before because they don't want to scare the client, kind of thing. But I mean, you need to have their full consent before you do it.
Of course
and then if it were to happen, if you've mentioned it to them before and said, there's a chance that this could happen. If this does happen, then I've got a plan. This is what we're going to do. Like, that's reassuring the client rather than not saying anything and just hoping it doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
It probably will one day.
I know.
And then what are you going to do then?
And like, people just don't know that that's a thing. Go, what the fuck's happened? I woke up looking weird. And
this is the thing. A lot of people get all their information from like TikTok and stuff nowadays, and misinformation going around and stuff. So yeah, it's important that we have those especially as like, because I'm a nurse, like medical professionals, we need to have those conversations, get true consent of our clients.
Yeah.
Instead of them not fully understanding what they're signing up for.
So you do a range of things, but like filler being one of them. Do you feel like that's kind of still like very much a thing, or is it kind of like moving away? Because you touched on the overfilling of the face a few years ago. Now it's kind of.
I think it's definitely, there's a more push for a natural look now. I feel like, but I think dermal filler will always have its place for certain things. But I just think it was so overused and abused in the past. It was all the kind of sharp jaws and the overfilled lips and stuff. Whereas now it's a lot more kind of regenerative medicine and stuff they're using. But for things like volume loss, like especially a lot of my clients are kind of older. So in the mid face, there's nothing else that's really going to give us that volume loss back apart from dermal filler. But we've just got more things to play with now for different areas of the face. So it is good, but I think it will always have its place, dermal filler. I can't see it ever going away fully.
And like the older clients that you touched on, that's kind of like your demographic.
Yeah.
Because I feel like older clients don't, well, for me, like my mum, for example, right, she's like, I'm too old for that. I wouldn't get anything done. And I'm like, no, but you probably could. But like, oh, I don't know if you could get this or this, but maybe you could get this. So like, what would you say to like older people that are maybe like thinking about it but thinking, oh, it's not going to make a difference to me, I'm too old?
Yeah. I think the first thing is coming in for a consultation and like sitting down and discussing it with me, because a lot of time people will come in, they don't really know what they need, and they'll have an idea in their head what they think they need. But really, when I sit and talk to them, that's not really what it is, or they can't see their face through somebody else's eyes, kind of thing. But the nerves around it, I think, is fair enough considering what we did see a couple of years ago with overfilled faces and like the pillow face and stuff like that. But it doesn't need to look like that. That's what I always say to my clients, because whenever I say to them, oh, I think you could benefit from some cheek filler in your mid face, it's looking quite flat, they'll be like, I think they're going to look like a chipmunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't need to be unnatural. It can be really natural. It's just to basically replace what's lost as you've aged.
Yeah.
So we're just giving you back what you used to have when you were younger, kind of thing.
It's
So
collagen. It's a shame it disappears.
I know.
It's very upsetting.
Basically, all the fat pads in your face slide. It's horrible. Slide down your face as you age. So we need to basically try and replace them, and but it's not a nice spot. It's all sliding down our face.
Not a nice spot. What do you think? Like obviously like the regenerative medicine you touched on is like becoming huge, and like other girls I've had on talking about that, and it's like massive. Like spam and sperm and all of that.
Yeah, love it.
Like I want to get back to like who found that out? Like who found out?
Well, it originally was used. I know it used to be used in hospitals and things for wound healing. So it's been around for years and years. It's only recently it's become really popular in aesthetics. And it's great, obviously, in aesthetics. It's really good. I like it like round your under eyes and stuff because it's good for like dark circles and things, which is a hard area to treat. So it's like nice to have something that works well there. But it's actually been around. A lot of these things that are kind of coming in now have actually been around for ages and just used in different medical settings. Yeah. They're just been repurposed for aesthetics.
Because so the sans hair polynucleotides, under eye, etc., and then the other side filler, both of which can help with like plumping, firmness, collagen. So like, why would you pick one over the other?
So dermal filler is more for volume loss, I would always say, or in the lips, dermal filler is used for volume loss and for like hydration of the lips and stuff as well, like a long lasting result from that, because your dermal filler will usually last about a year. Whereas like skin boosters, polynucleotides and things like that, it's not cross-linked the same way, so it's a different kind of consistency. So it doesn't sit in the tissue the same way that dermal filler would. So it will absorb and spread, and it won't stay rigid in the skin kind of thing. It will spread out, and it'll just like cause like more water to come to the area, hydrate the area, things like that. So the dermal fillers are more for like volume loss really, and skin boosters, polynucleotide, stuff like that. It's kind of for like fine lines, wrinkles, like hydration of the skin. Like it helps with like pigmentation and stuff as well, acne scarring. Yeah. Like there's something for everything now.
There really is. Because like even when you go down to like the microneedling route, that's a huge massive thing now. Yeah. Like, they all kind of do similar things, but they're just set up
That's why I think it's quite confusing for people as well, because they're always like, oh, what does this do? Promotes collagen, elastin. Like, what does this do? Promotes collagen, elastin. Like it's a different way of producing it basically, and it's whatever's best for that person because everyone's so different. Yeah. Whatever their concern is basically.
Yeah. And there is something for everything, like you said, like the acne, the pigmentation, like it's crazy what you can do these days.
There's so many options for people now, it's good.
Do you feel like there's ever any like pushback in the industry with like people being like, stop doing things to your face, or do you think it's not really like that anymore?
I think people are more accepting of it now. I think back a couple of years ago when people were taking it a bit too far, I could understand why people would feel like that. But then if you remember, like maybe like 20, 30 years ago, like dyeing your hair was like a extreme thing to do. Like people would be like, oh, she's not a natural blonde kind of thing. Whereas if you think now how quickly our attitude has changed towards things like aesthetics, but then it's kind of pulled back a wee bit. I always feel like we always go a wee bit too far in initially and then kind of pull back and be like, actually this looks better. Yeah. Much natural. Yeah. More natural look.
Not having the duck lips.
Yeah.
That was a weird time.
I know. What was going on?
What were we doing? I don't know. It was a weird time. No, because I think like you're right, but then you look at the likes of, I think I spoke about this before with somebody, like Michelle Keegan, who is absolutely stunning. Every man in the world fancies her. She's had so much done, but you couldn't tell until there's that before and after that goes around on Facebook sometimes, and you think, fuck.
I know. I think the key is to go slow and steady with it as well. A lot of the time when you see people with the crazy overfilled lips or really migrated lips, it's because they've tried to put too much product in at once. And you think how small your lips are, they're like a really tight space. So you're trying to force something in there, it's going to migrate out and it's not going to look good. So it's about coming up with a plan, like a treatment plan over like the course of a year. If somebody comes to me, like you were saying, like an older client, it's like about creating a plan from here to like a year's time, and let's see what we can achieve like in that time.
And there's so much like that older clients can have that it's mad. I've seen a before and after somebody recently, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Because I was looking on your Instagram, and you've got a new thing, or maybe it's not new, but I just seen it. HIFU.
Yeah.
How's that going?
I
And
love
explain to me what it is.
So it's basically like ultrasound energy. So it goes into the deep layers of your skin. So it goes into the SMAS layer, which is deep down, and then into the dermis as well. So we do different passes with this energy over it. And it basically creates little injuries into the layers of the skin. And that causes it to kind of tighten, and means that over the next 3 months, you get a much tighter look in your face. So it's really good for this is the bit that everyone always hates, especially older people. So for like round your jawline and round your neck, it's really good, and it helps to really tighten the skin up. So it's been great. I can't wait to get it on my own face.
Sign me up.
I know, it's so good though. But it's been great so far. So the layer that it targets is the same layer that they use in facelifts. So the SMAS layer is what they kind of tighten. So it tightens and shrinks that layer. So you need to wait a couple of months, which people don't like, for your results to show. But in the end, it's worth it.
So it's basically like heating up and like moving
energy,
it in and out.
Mm-hmm. So it basically goes through, like, you won't have marks. It's not needles or anything like that. It'll go through your skin, just deep down the energy, and it just causes like wee lines of damage under your skin. But you won't see anything on the surface of your face. But it's really good for the same things, collagen, elastin, and really for lifting the skin. It's the best thing you could have. Because a lot of people are moving towards machine-based treatments now, like radio frequency microneedling as well. That's a big one. For like acne scarring and things. So just with a move towards more natural looking results, a lot of these machines are really helping people achieve that alongside other treatments. It's really good.
Also because it used to be, you just need the injectables for the solution. Not everybody would be happy with needles in their face. Whereas this is like a option that's not needles, but it's still giving the kind of good results.
Really nice result, really natural result. And still, it's not pain-free either. None of what I really do is pain-free. It's not relaxing services.
Just put that out there right now. It's not pain-free.
It's worth it. Like, if you look at some of the pictures before and after, the results are great. Like, if you're thinking about going down a surgical route and want to try something first, it's a really good option, I think, to try before you go under the knife.
Yeah. And that's just for face? Is it for body as well?
You can do it for body as well. I've just done my training for body, so it will be good for like pockets of fat more than like tightening the body. So like round your kind of like hips and we love handles and stuff like that, kind of like pockets of fat that you can't really shift with exercise and stuff. It will help to shrink those kind of areas.
Amazing. And I've also got written down, speaking of like exercise, there's something on your Instagram like a weight loss.
Here's your weight loss program.
Weight loss program.
Yeah.
Weight loss program. Tell me about this.
So that's me and Ashley that owns the Medi Spa. We started this together, and it's basically your kind of weight loss medication, but we're trying to do it in a different way than you're kind of seeing it most like online at the moment, where it's like a pharmacy that never see you and you just get it sent out to you. People lie about what their BMI is, and just overall really dangerous. So we were trying to come up with like a program where we're looking at it as in a kind of holistic way, where so we're taking into account like the nutrition of the client, like recommending supplements and things, because we're both nurse prescribers. We can help advise on these kind of things. We've also got a personal trainer who helps us with our clients, and he can offer his services as well, go through a consultation with them. If you want, you can sign up to his program, but he's happy to like just give you advice and things as well. So all the other girls that work in the Medi Spa as well. So we've got someone that can do lymphatic drainage, which is obviously really helpful. So it's all kind of bringing all these services together to try and help the client to achieve their goals, but in a really safe way, without just being like what's going on. You're seeing these insulin syringes with like what they're claiming is Mounjaro in it, but is it Mounjaro? You don't know. It's literally just a bag of needles.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, so it's so unsafe what's going on. So, I mean, we probably are more expensive than a lot of the online pharmacies, but it's a better service, it's a safe service. We use an NHS approved pharmacy, like what you know what you're getting when you come
You're
and
not going to
use
end up in
us. Yeah.
hospital eventually
Yeah,
an overdose.
yeah, and I wouldn't just prescribe it for anyone. We're
No.
really, really safe about who we prescribe it for.
Because 2 episodes ago, I was actually talking about this, and because I was asking, I was like, "Do you think this is like a fad, or like, do you think this is like because it's huge?
It's massive.
Everybody is on it, but like
Yeah.
people are on it that are pure skinny, and I
Yeah.
think, oh, what are you doing?
It's been abused massively.
Yeah.
But I think that's where these kind of online it's not really working. I think you should really see someone face to face to get it,
Mhm.
because people are just able to lie online and just say that they're a certain way, and then just get the medication, abuse it, and then ultimately they stop taking it, think they can control their hunger, and the hunger comes back, and then they're back to square one, and they've wasted all that money on
I know.
medication.
Well, it's the same as like if you go too hard, starve yourself and
Yeah.
whatever, and then you put it all back on again.
Yeah,
Same thing.
it's just a vicious cycle, isn't it?
And also, it's kind of like you are doing it like a safe way, but like some people, I think it's maybe a bit lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I've seen people online saying, "Oh, I've just jagged myself," like literally on Facebook, "I've just jagged myself. I'm still hungry,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "All right."
That's somebody that's had no advice about how the drug actually works.
No.
You know, not had like a consultation where they've taken like we go and take their weight, like waist circumference, everything like that, blood pressure. Like we do blood testing as well for clients. Like, but I think these online pharmacies, they're not even getting a talk through how it works or what to expect when they're on it, what like side effects expect, what to do if you experience side effects, what you do if you miss a dose. Like, just kind of left to
Yeah.
figure out themselves.
Like,
Not
should you get like after one jag, should something happen, or is it got to like build up over
It
time?
kind of builds up you build up a tolerance to it over time.
Yeah.
But initially your side effects are quite bad when you start taking it. Yeah.
What kind of side
Usually in the
effects?
first kind of, I think it's 8 weeks, you can experience like kind of like diarrhea, vomiting, things like that. So it can put a lot of people off taking it initially, but it usually kind of peaks and then kind of plateaus, and usually you're fine once you build it up a wee bit.
And
But
how,
it's quite a serious
it
medication,
is a
so you
serious
shouldn't be taking
medication.
it if you don't really need to take it.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
And
Like, how quickly would you see results with it if you were like a bigger person, like with the right correct over BMI and whatever?
yeah,
Would it be quick?
yeah, a lot of people have quite a rapid weight loss when they're on it, which is a good and a bad thing, because a rapid weight loss can mean they lose the volume in their face as well. I've heard people saying that they've lost their hair and stuff when they've been on Mounjaro, but that's actually the rapid weight loss. It's not actually the drug that's doing that to them. So you don't want them to lose the weight too quickly. So it's kind of like planning long term. I would never put someone in a high dose initially. Everyone starts at the lowest dose and you work it up, and try and just maintain a slow and steady decrease. I mean, I'm sure people will order like the highest strength pen and take it straight away, but then that's when you're going to have those kind of issues, like with your appearance. I wouldn't want to be losing my hair and losing all the volume in my face because I want to lose weight really quick.
Face.
Yeah.
Then just get filler.
Yeah. Just like set up a direct debit to me.
Because I can't remember if I said this in the last podcast, but there's something else I was talking to, and they were saying like that. So like Botox and then filler, like Botox was wearing off quicker if you're on it, whereas they're not sure if fillers what's going to happen with filler, but with Botox, like you need to get your Botox quicker because it's not.
Like it's not lasting
as long because it's like
a lot of people have seen that during COVID. Their Botox wasn't lasting after, and people thought it was either to do with COVID or the vaccine. No one really knew what it was, but I mean, you can definitely build up an immunity to Botox if you get it too long. So I try not to encourage people to get it too young. But also, I'm a fan of preventative Botox as well. So I think there's like a balance between the two, because you don't want to start it too young, and then when you're like in your 50s be resistant.
Yeah.
And that's when you really need it. You can't get it anymore because you had it when you were 20 and you didn't really need it.
Yeah.
So it's very client dependent.
Yeah.
I would say.
I know, it's wild. I wonder if it's going to have an impact on fillers, but then
yeah,
because you need to fill your face fills.
I know. Need something to hold up.
I know. So, one of the other things that you kind of touched on, and I've got it on my notes, was you're a trainer for aesthetics training in Scotland.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell me all about it.
So I think that was been about a year or so now I've been doing that. As a nurse, I always enjoyed training like new starts and like students that would come in and things. So I've always had like a natural drive towards like education and things. My mum was a teacher as well, so I just like to support girls that are starting out because I know what it was like starting out, and people are like telling you that you're going to be making all this money and you're going to be so busy, and then it doesn't happen. You're like, what am I doing wrong here? Like, like I like to just be honest with the girls that come in. But I love doing it. Like, so I do a lot of like the kind of new people that are new to the industry. So like basic Botox and fillers, like skin boosters and things like that. And it's nice to see them coming back and gain confidence. And yeah, I love doing the teaching. It's one of my favourite things to do actually. Just because it's just nice to have a community of people around you as well. And all the girls that I've trained, I still speak to all the time. Amazing. Like, yeah, and it's nice to see them grow their business. Yeah. And just support each other. It's nice. Because there's not a lot of that sometimes in industries that are quite female dominated.
I know, it can be bitchy. Yeah. So it's nice to bounce off each other and help each other out and stuff like that and grow. Because when you said they're like, saying to them like you're not going to make £1 million in a
like
week,
realistic,
like, it's not going to really be like that. Like, I think that's like the case of most industries. When you go self-employed, people think, like, you're going to make so much money. And actually, you make a loss all the fucking time.
Yeah, I know. I the people that don't turn up. Like, I remember when I first started, I didn't take, like, it's so silly when you think now, like, I didn't take deposits and people would just not come. So I would have been paying for the room, paying for the product, just sitting there on my day off, like an idiot, waiting for somebody to turn up that's not going to come. But I think sometimes you need to make those mistakes as well to learn the lesson properly. And now everybody pays a deposit before they come in.
And that's it.
Yeah, because it's just a waste of time.
I know, like, so random, but I always do spray tans, random as fuck. And I was like that as well. Like at the start, I was like, no, like, and then I felt bad. I was like, no, I'm not going to take a deposit. It's okay. Doesn't matter.
I know.
Then like people cancel. So like I would maybe have like 6 people booked in or whatever.
Yeah.
4 of them would cancel, and then there'd have been people waiting.
Yeah.
But like it's too last minute.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, that's so annoying because you're like, you've blocked off that time. And or maybe you've blocked off like one time, then get a big massive gap in between them and a late time.
Yeah.
You're like,
it's very soul destroying.
It's
people I know. People are bad for that. But I think as well, it'd be good to have on like these kind of courses, like some kind of business training, because you literally, like that wasn't even really in my head when I first started my business. I was just doing aesthetics because I was like, just a wee side hustle kind of thing. But you just kind of have to learn those lessons as well as you go along about like how to manage your business and like social media management and stuff. Like that was a mad learning curve. Like
mad.
As someone that never posted on social media, like trying to learn how to do a reel, like
I know
that took a long time to get that right.
I say this all the time, like because it's not your actual job, but it's part of your job. Because it has to be, because you have to get people through the door.
Yeah.
So it's dead hard.
I know. I do still think word of mouth is the best way to get people in, but I do still also get a lot of people from social media as well. So it's important you want to put what your brand actually is across on social media, and you want to get that right. So that's like a massive learning curve starting a business.
That is. Maybe you need to get like a wee business course set up for the news.
Yeah.
That could be part of like your onboarding or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. Because it's like so overwhelming when you start.
Yeah. So when new people are coming in, like, do they come in just for like, do they do like the full buna, like they learn Botox, filler, polynucleotides, or do they like pick and choose what they kind of want to start out with?
Kind of do it a bit at a time because it's really overwhelming. The good thing I like about the academy is that they do Botox one day and then filler the next day when you're starting, because a lot of places will just do it all in one day, and you can imagine how overwhelming that is. Like you kind of leave and you're like, what just happened there? Like now you're supposed to go out and just do it by yourself. So try and space it out. We offer like support after as well. So there's like WhatsApp groups and stuff that we can support the girls in. I always say to them, if you need anything, just like reach out to me, like, because you'd rather that than them go and just try and fix something by themselves. Like we'll be there and support them after. It's not just like that's you qualified, right? See you later kind of thing.
Have you ever been in that situation where you've had to like, somebody said a dodged nose and you've had to like jump in and help?
Not touch wood. No vascular occlusions. I feel bad even saying that. Something bad's going to happen now.
No, don't.
Nothing like that. But if the girls, I mean, it happens. Complications happen.
Mm-hmm.
I remember somebody said to me when I started, if you're not having complications, you're not busy enough. Like, because statistically, you're going to have complications
Mm-hmm.
when you're putting a needle in someone's face. So, I'll go and help the girls whenever they have, and they've helped, like Ashley and Alana and things have helped me as well when I've had it. And it's just about creating like a nice environment where we can be open about stuff like that and help each other rather than like the kind of bitchiness and like, I don't want to support her business because I want my business to succeed kind of thing. Like, it's really nice what we have actually.
There's enough wrinkly people to go around.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of us out there.
No, 100%. Sounds like you're building an empire. So
Hopefully.
What else is round the corner? Like, have you got a 5-year plan? Like, do you have new things that you're going to bring on to Aesthetics by Emma?
So
Any
there's
plans?
always new things coming out constantly. Like I was saying, there's all the kind of regenerative stuff. So I'll probably train in a wee bit more of that kind of stuff. Do more training with the academy and things. I'm doing my medical toxin masterclass in the summer, so that'll be for Botox for like migraines and hay fever and stuff. Yeah, so I'm looking
Botox
forward
for
to
hay
that.
fever?
Yeah, I'm still not really sure how that works, but it looks really good. Like I'm saying, like it's to try and kind of support the people that have been left behind by the NHS that used to be able to have access to these services and now don't. So hopefully it can help some of them with it. But yeah, that will be a good course. I'm looking forward to that. Like the different kind of uses you can use for Botox rather than just for aesthetics of your face and stuff.
Yeah, because like you can get it for like sweating and like things like that, which people just think, oh, it's for wrinkles. It's like, no, there's so much that it's for.
Yeah,
originally.
I know. So like migraines and excessive sweating in your scalp and things. Hay fever, like obviously it's used in the medical setting for like bladders and things like that as well. Like the never ending list of things you can use it for.
Wow.
It's the best treatment by a mile.
But it is the most, was it somebody told me once? It's the second most researched drug in the world.
Really?
Yeah. Which I think the first one is.
The first one? Viagra.
Yeah. How did you know that?
Why did that just come so easy? I'm like, oh, Viagra. It's Viagra.
I was like,
two great drugs.
Two great drugs, like, needed by everyone. Like. No, that's class. And then you're in the Croya Medi Spa in Kilmarnock, which has obviously got everything in, and who Claire of the first episodes of this season 3. She's in there as well. God, there's loads of these in there.
Yeah, I know. There's all the makeup girls, nails, lashes. Obviously, Claire's there. She's a psychotherapist. Girls doing lymphatic drainage. There's a fertility nurse. All the aesthetics girls. Like, it's literally everything under one roof.
Yeah.
But it's great. And everyone's so supportive. All the girls are lovely. And it's nice to work like that because when I kind of started my business, I worked alone quite a lot. Like, I didn't have a great support network around me. And now I've got all the girls, like, it's so much better. You know, we all promote each other, we all share each other's stuff. Yeah. Like, it's just nice to have that community.
So were you just, like, in a room, like, renting a room type thing before you found Croya?
And then, got to know, like, Ashley and eventually moved in to her old clinic. And then we've all moved into the nice new clinic together.
I'll need to come and see it.
Oh, it's lovely.
Fab.
Yeah, everyone's like, where is it? And I'm like, you won't miss it. It's huge.
It's huge. It looks like it's on like the seaside or something, but obviously it's not. Like, just the way
it's on a nice street though, in Kilmarnock. Like, it's on Bank Street, and they've done a great job. It looks great. It's really nice.
And I was actually in Kilmarnock not that long ago. I need to come down.
I
need to come down. Cool. So we're actually coming to the end of the podcast. Wild. So basically the podcast, what it's all about, you've listened to it, you know what it is. I'd like you to hype up a small business, a charity, or someone that deserves a spotlight, and tell me why.
So I think I'll pick my friend Rachel, who started her own nail business recently called Nails at Rays. So she started that at the end of last year. So she does like biab, nail art, and things like that. And Rachel's such a lovely person. She's such a hard worker, and she's really trying. She's in that kind of early stages of her business, trying to promote it and stuff. And I can relate to how hard that is initially. So. Nails at Rays. She's a really good at what she does as well. So I highly recommend her. Yeah.
Show them the cam.
Wouldn't trust anyone else.
She's my gal. Is she in Croydon as well?
No, she's in Glasgow.
She's in Glasgow.
Yeah, so she's got a room in her flat. She's got a lovely flat, and she does all her nails in there. She's got it all nice. So,
amazing.
yeah.
Nails by Rue.
Nails by Rue.
I'll need to follow her. Oh, honey. Thank you so much for on the podcast.
No, thanks for having us.
So, just for the last wee minute or two, do you want to pitch yourself to the camera about what you do? How people get in touch with you and things like that?
Sure. Yeah. This one.
This one here.
Yeah. So I'm Emma. I do aesthetics in Kilmarnock, and I do Botox, filler. And if you want to follow me, it's Aesthetics by Emma Ltd on Instagram.
Amazing. This is such a nice time chatting to you and getting to know you.
Thank you so
and
much.
I need to come down to Croydon and see you. So
yeah. Come and get all the treatments.
I'll get everything done. I'll be like, right, it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
Just rotate around all the rooms.
Charge a fortune. Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It's been so nice to chat to you.
Yeah,
and please follow Emma. Go down to Croydon for all your aesthetic needs and everything else that they do, because they do everything.
Yeah.
And please subscribe, share the hype, tell your pals, tell everyone. And I'll see you next time.